Matty motorcycle fans, welcome to the best day ever. We're going to call this Beautiful Italians Day here at Matty Motorcycle Studios. Allow me to introduce Ducati's V4S, Ducati's V4S Streetfighter, and Sophia. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Before we get too deep into these bikes, let's go over some specs. First up, we have our V4S model. This one is claiming 214 horsepower, 91 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs about 435 pounds. The same engine is in the Streetfighter, but it's claiming 208 horsepower, the same 90 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs approximately 430 pounds also. And our gorgeous model Sophia, claiming about 5'9", and aftermarket accessories include blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, each one of these has a 4.2 gallon gas tank, but don't get too excited. If you get 100 miles out of these things, you are doing exceptionally well mile-wise. Then, a theoretical top speed of the V4S is 211 miles an hour. Now, I say theoretical because everything has to be just right. The air temperature, your tire pressure, and you have to have a long enough straight to really ring out that sixth gear. And as we'll find out in a second, that's not an unreasonable thing to do. Moving along. There's a lot of reviews about Ducati's V4 and V4S and of course the R. So you're asking yourself, Matty, what am I watching your page for? And let's go over some of those details. Let's get into right away the ergonomics of this bike. I had a couple of miles on it and boy, it is definitely a unique ride. First up, the thing you're gonna notice right away is how skinny the bike is. And it's flickable side to side. Those nice wide handlebars definitely make it cake to push through corners and turns. Very easy to steer. And now the body position when you're riding it. As you can see, very aggressive. Your arms are really far forward, your hips are really far back, and this knee bend is definitely nothing to do for long distances. It's very, very tight, very compact way to ride a motorcycle, and especially ride the motorcycle fast. This thing is angry. Let's take pause and listen to what it sounds like, just how mad it gets. And that music you just heard is a deadly, angry, fire-breathing V4. Now, it's borderline unmanageable. To tell you the truth, while I was riding this thing, it's crazy. At the lower RPM, so up to about 5 grand, it's super jerky back and forth. It really is it's a beastly motorcycle that wants to go fast. The clutch lets out real early. To feather it is a lot of work. Then after that, once you're into that 5 grand mark, it picks up fast. I'm telling you, the power curve must look like this. You go from 0 to everything this thing has almost instantaneously. It'll tear your arms right out of the sockets. It's easy to ride fast. It wants to, it's happy there, but not necessarily slow. And it's not necessarily easy to ride very fast because after that 10,000 RPM mark, this thing comes alive even more. And I'm just gonna say, I got a lot of miles on a lot of different bikes. This thing is scary fast. It is absolutely intimidating. And if you're not ready for it, you got another thing coming. Moving along. Now let's take a second and talk about the heat that comes off of these things. That would be the bike, not the model. When you're on a V4, on any Ducati really, these things will cook you. I was on both of these bikes. I had to, at one point on the V4S Superbike, look down to make sure that the engine wasn't on fire, because that's how much heat comes off of this. And this will definitely keep your legs roasty toasty warm, even if you happen to be riding in your bikini, which we don't encourage. Always wear all the gear all the time. But should you be out on a cold winter day in your bikini, you will be toasty warm on either one of these machines. Now, the brakes on this particular bike are incredible. This one has the Stylema Brembos, the V4S has the M50 calipers, and the brakes are smooth and progressive but have plenty of bite. They don't have that really hard initial bite that you're used to on big brakes on big superbikes, but they will stop you instantaneously, and for me it seemed the faster I went, the faster they stopped me. Really incredible. Nice job, Brembo, working with Ducati. Now, these both have fully electronic suspensions, and on the S model for the street, that's exactly what we want to go for. The engine talks to the brakes, talks to the suspension, talks to the traction control, talks to the ABS system, and you are always being monitored by the little Italian scientists sitting inside of each one of these things, prepping you for every corner, making sure the back end doesn't slip out on you. And if you do overbrake into a corner, make sure you don't lose the front and slide out. The ABS will adjust it. You might overrun the corner. Please make sure there's not oncoming traffic, but at least you won't go down on your ultra expensive motorcycles. Now, the quick shifter is only happy on the way up after about 5, maybe 6,000 RPMs. Otherwise, you do get a little bit of a jerking when you're riding it. Now, the auto blipper on the way down, super smooth, buttery all the time. I just think that's a really nuancy thing, meaning both of these bikes like to be revved to the bread line every single time in order for them to work most confidently. You gotta love it. Moving along. Last couple of thoughts about Ducati's current V4 range. They are amazing marvels of engineering, no doubt about it, but they definitely have their time and their place. Each one of these S models works amazing for the street. If you're gonna race for money, if someone's paying you to win races, definitely go buy the R model of this particular motorcycle, because that's gonna help you win. And if you're just gonna ride it at the track for fun, go ahead and get yourself the base model without the electronic suspension. It's just gonna make you that much faster and that much more coordinated on the track. This has a lot of gizmos that some of them are gonna help you for sure, but some of them actually might end up hindering you. So that's my thought on that. And now, have no illusions about it. Both of these machines have no chill. These are beasts. You have no time to relax, no time to take in the sights or the scenery. These machines require 100% of your attention 100% of the time. Not unlike some beautiful supermodels I know. All these Italians need your love, and these things will definitely bite you the second you don't pay attention, not unlike some women I know. Now, just to give you some perspective, these machines are not inexpensive either. This particular bike will run you about 22,000 American dollars, while the S model of the V4 Superbike will run you close to $30,000. These aren't cheap, these are big money, and you get big attention for it. On this particular motorcycle, we have a whole bunch of extras provided from Gold Coast Motorsports and our friends over at Rhizoma. You have brake levers and clutch levers. You have a reservoir on both sides. You have a fender eliminator, this incredible gas cap. Now take a look at this. It comes with a little Ducati shaped key, and you gotta hold it in there, turn it, pop out that gas cap and put it right back in. It's just wonderful. And of course, these beautiful levers. This bike is all set up, ready to go. And now, one step further, this absolute monster for the bargain basement price of $6,000, you can add a full Akrapovic exhaust system to this bike. Let's all take a second and listen to what that sounds like. Yeah, That's real, and boy, you think you're not gonna get attention rolling down the street with that? You definitely are. You're gonna set off car alarms, scare dogs right away from you. Instead of them chasing you, they'll be running away, and definitely aggravate a neighbor or two, particularly on an early Sunday morning ride. Folks, Matty Motorcycle, Sophia, please subscribe to this channel. Like it if you like the video, like it if you don't like the video, share it with your friends, and leave me a comment of what you think about Ducati's full line of V4 Superbikes. See you next time.